Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I should say reasonably well after Leeds United have been beaten at home by Manchester City 4-0. Yes, the Whites are losing out on aggregate to the Manchester side 11-0 over the course of the season. Leeds picking up no points, I believe it is, against the top six so far this season, with only Arsenal and Chelsea to play. Those devastating stats I've just relayed over to you will not sum up Leeds United's season, however, as we are still 5 points clear as the Toffees go into facing one of the top six sides tomorrow in Chelsea in what has become a huge game for Leeds United. Don't be mistaken there. It is a massive game tomorrow for Leeds. You do not want Everton picking up anything against that lot tomorrow, because that would not only, significantly close the gap, but Everton's favourable run in comparison to Leeds United's could come to the fore. But when we're talking about the game, get your comments in, everybody. Please like the page, subscribe, and comment. As always, we have a Patreon page, which will be in the description below. I've uploaded a video this week. I will be uploading more videos throughout the week as well. If you guys want some additional bonus content, I'm going to be reacting to things. I might start doing some live streams on there as well. Really engaging. We've had Chris, who's come over this week. Thank you, Chris, for joining the Patreon club. We have 10 members at present, so if you want to join, the link's in the description below. Thank you to everybody who got involved in the BETMATE as well this week. I think we had about 50 to 60 people involved this week with the Manchester City game. And listen, I think there was 5-6 payouts. So yeah, a lot of people winning a lot of money on there just for a £5 stake. So it was a lot of good fun, good community on there. So make sure you get involved. But all said and done, Leeds United went into this game today after Burnley had just beaten Watford in a 2-1 victory down in Hertfordshire. A very frustrating game when Watford are 1-0 up until the 84th minute, and then Burnley change it. They turn it around inside about 180 seconds, which just sums it up, really, doesn't it? Leeds went into this game 17th in the table. Burnley better in Leeds on goal difference. Goal difference, which I've said from day one, is going to be a huge, huge decider in this run-in. And yeah, Burnley getting the win, and fair play to them. They've completely turned it around. There was a lot of people in the mentions saying about 2 weeks ago that I was being a bit maybe deluded, saying Burnley could get out of it when they've only won sort of 4 games all season. Well, I think they've now won 3 or 4 games in that time span. So it just shows that this relegation period, so many weird things happen. And that's why I constantly talk about isolating this period from the rest of the season, because as you can see, teams pick up form, teams lose form. It is how it works in this period of time. It's very unique. So yeah, we go into this game and you're thinking, in my opinion, a lot of you guys might think this is negative. I look at the best team in world football at them, turn round and I say, we're not getting anything from it. I'm sorry. I'm not that sort of guy. I try to look at football rationally. I try not to get too carried away when it comes to passion, even though I have done before. But in the past sort of 2 or 3 years, I've tried to keep, it's not like I don't hope, but I don't get myself too giddy. And that's what I used to do with Leeds United. I used to get myself way too giddy, way too excited, and then ultimately be let down. It's a very, you could call it a pessimistic mindset, but I do think, you bring it back down to earth and you look at the fixtures that were coming up against everybody. Manchester City, the best team in world football. I watched them completely decimate Real Madrid for 90 minutes, and they should have scored 9 goals. Madrid were lucky in the tie. They had to, when they exposed Manchester City, they scored 3 world-class goals, obviously, including the Benzema penalty, which was a Panenka. So you're coming up against an outfit who have rotated, but they haven't rotated heavily. You still got the likes of Ruben Diaz, Edison in goal, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden. So you've still got the nucleus of a world-class team there. And Manchester City's second team still challenges Manchester City's first team for the title. So you're going into it, and it's David versus Goliath. I'm hearing some Leeds fans say, yeah, well, it's 11-0 and on aggregate. And I completely agree. I think the 11-0 thing is a thing. Like, I am ultimately so disappointed that teams around us haven't lost by that margin. In terms of, the disparity between the teams has just been, it's been monumental, and it's not on. It really isn't on. But I did feel today that we did give a reasonable account of ourselves. I won't say a good account of ourselves, but I'll say a reasonable account of ourselves, which we didn't give last time. We got absolutely mullered last time. And I do think the 4-0 was a little bit unjustified. I will say that, if I'm looking at a 2-0, I'd say a 3-0 was probably realistic, but I am going into this game initially and thinking we're going to get absolutely tonked. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I try to look at it objectively. I'm not biased with Leeds. I have a lot of people on these shows who don't like that. They don't like the fact that I'm not coming on here and saying that Leeds aren't going to win 2 or 3-0 every single game, but I just won't do that. It's not who I am. I thought we were going to get hammered in this game. I said on the debrief it was going to be 5. It wasn't 5, which was good, but I think the thing that frustrated me more than anything was how avoidable each goal was. 2 set pieces. I know City are strong from set pieces, but recently Leeds United are very strong from defending set pieces. And for me, another individual error from Milan Mele for that last goal. Another simple goalkeeping save, from a 37-year-old man who's got a foot like a poppadom. He can't shoot. He's always out injured. He's Fernandinho, and drills a shot in low, doesn't he? The Phil Foden goal, obviously, and the third goal is in acres of space. The question of offside, but it was definitely on. And but Leeds had opportunities. Everybody, Leeds did have opportunities, and we're going to get into that in a bit. Thank you for your super chat, Immortal RA. Up or down? If not most of it. Up or down, half of it, not most of the Leeds team needs a rebuild. Thank you so much for your super chat, mate. Excuse me. All helps the channel, supporting the channel. So thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, it does need a rebuild. I think we all know that. I mean, yeah, we'll get onto that generic stuff in a little bit, mate. We've also got the final word coming up tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow morning, which we did last week. You guys really enjoyed that one, so make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, I just think that we were outclassed today. We were, and it was always going to be a tall order. I couldn't believe the amount of Leeds fans who were saying we're going to nick a win. It's Manchester City. These guys are elite. They've been to the most hostile environments in Europe, and Atletico Madrid being the prime example, and they deal with it. They really do deal with it. So yeah, a couple of really good opportunities for Leeds. I thought we were on the front foot from about the sort of maybe 15th minute to the 25th minute. I thought we're good, but we needed to score. We really did need to score in that period because City are always going to come back into it. They're just simply too good. They're too good. You have to take more of your chances, don't you? You have to be a little bit more efficient. And I do worry about this Leeds side. Gary Neville summed it up perfectly in commentary. He said they run. They're almost Leeds players are almost so focused on running as quick as they can that they don't have that element of composure. They don't have that element of focus and concentration when it actually comes to that pivotal matter, the final third, where you need to really, really be in kill mode. And if you're not in kill mode, if you're never in kill mode, you're simply not going to stay in the Premier League. And I think that's the only thing I saw today, because I genuinely didn't believe City. When we sit, I think against Real Madrid in midweek, we saw City in 4th, 5th gear. I think today we did still see them in 2nd, 3rd gear. And obviously Kevin De Bruyne is not playing. Obviously Bernardo Silva's not playing. Obviously Mahrez isn't, all these players aren't starting for Man City. And I know that makes a difference, but they've still got £100 million players playing, £70 million players playing. So I do think you can get a good gauge, a good measure from it. But it just seemed that Leeds weren't able to take those chances in the final third. You look at all of the games that we have played recently, Watford, it's moments, isn't it? Watford, the wonderful strike from Rafinha, that was a moment of class. But the other two goals were, I mean, you can't exactly say they were offensive quality. It was just Watford being absolutely dreadful in the defensive third. Really, Southampton, it was bit part, wasn't it? We had so many opportunities in the final third. I thought in the first half, and the Norwich game, we had so many opportunities in the final third. It does worry me, that side of it. The composure, the calmness, the assurance in front of goal is just completely lacking. And I did say I've said to sort of everybody as well, don't judge Rodrigo. I've tried to keep a level head on Rodrigo. Don't judge Rodrigo until this sort of period. You know, we've had the good games. We've had Southampton. We've had Watford. We've had Norwich. We've had, all these games that we should be getting points from. I've always said, we've been speaking on the debrief. We've been replying to comments. I've always said, judge Rodrigo on this span, these 6 games from Palace onwards. And so far, unfortunately, we need him to step up a little bit more. And he's against Manchester City, everybody. And that can be used as a caveat. But when you do have acres of space, when your teammates have done such a good job in the final third to get you in a certain position, and you're giving the ball away so lackadaisically, you're giving the ball away continuously, which is causing Manchester City to push up the field. It's causing Leeds United to be on the back foot. And I thought Rodrigo was extremely poor today in holding the ball up. And he's never been a striker for me. I mean, I don't know what he was for Spain. I can't profess to have watched him week in, week out for Spain, but I think he was more of a Harry Kane number 9 in terms of dropping into the midfield, not the same quality, but just dropping into the midfield and allowing dragging the defender out and allowing the wingers to really get into those key spaces. But overall, it was a decent performance. I thought his chance, that it was summed up in the first 3 minutes. Manchester City make a cataclysmic error, which they never do, especially inside those areas, especially inside such a key period. The crowd was fantastic at the start, and Rodrigo's through. He's through. It's 1-on-1, and Gundogan somehow sprints. Gundogan, who is not a quick player, catches him up. And there is a key ball. He just needs to play it across to Rafinha. Now, I am not saying at all there that we're going to win the game, but Leeds go 1-0 up there, and you're really putting the pressure on Manchester City with Liverpool winning earlier. So you're forcing them to come out, and that's maybe where we could get in and behind with the pace. Maybe Rafinha, of maybe a Jack Harrison, but. Yeah, I think overall they sort of took the stronghold, didn't they? And they really started to gain a lot in key periods of the game, and they were able to calm Leeds down. Obviously, Liam being out at the start, it's looked very strange. He started pointing at his knee, and I don't know, he was doing a lot of training, a lot of warming up, and then suddenly starts pointing at his knee. I hope Stu's all right. An awful injury towards the back end of the first half, and yeah. I do want to touch on just some incidents from the crowd as well. I mean, I did say, and I will come out and say this, they're putting these stickers up at the start of the game, and I get the aspect of it. I get it's all about team and building and all this sort of stuff. And I love the one, I think it was at Derby, when it just said believe, and that was actually a key message. Believe we can get to the playoff final, believe we can do the unthinkable under Marcelo Bielsa in his first season and get to the playoff final and win the playoffs and get to the Premier League in one season. I got that. I got the whole message. What I didn't understand was at the start of the game, I never really talk about this sort of thing. You guys know I'm very, very much on the pitch. Why are the club deciding to get everybody to hold up stickers of Yorkshire? Just baffling. I get it's a choice, I get it's a preference, but why are we holding up stickers which spell out Yorkshire? Like, what has that got to do with anything? It's not got to do with that. There's not a message on the pitch. It's not a player's name. It's not MOT. It's not it's nothing. Just Yorkshire, and that it just set the tone a little bit, because that then descended into all of these stickers just being launched onto the pitch, and I just didn't really understand it. Leeds are trying to get back in the game, and any single time Jack Grealish goes and gets the ball, he's getting pelted with these stickers. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, I get it. Look, I understand it. We're trying to put Jack Grealish off here, but we're trying to get back in the game. You're seeing Ayling getting a little bit frustrated with the crowd, trying to kick the stickers off because they want to get, we want to get on with the game. We want to try get back into the game. We're in a relegation fight ourselves here. And fans just seem more bothered about pelting instead of watching the game. I just thought throughout the game, the fans seemed a little bit more bothered about pelting Grealish with the sticker. And it culminated at the end when Rafinha's taking a corner for his own team to try and get us back into the game. And fans start pelting Rafinha with stickers. I'm watching it and I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted. I really am. I just didn't understand the whole premise of it. I didn't understand the idea and just launching these things at our players and then sort of time wasting by launching at opposition players and there was a section, wasn't there, where Leeds players and City players were having to kick them off the pitch. I just thought it was a bit nonsensical, to be honest. But let me get into a lot of your comments, everybody. There's 414 of you in at the minute. Make sure you're liking the video. Really appreciate that. James in the building. Connor, has that performance given you confidence for the last four? Thought Marsh got the tactics right. Just a shame we lack quality. Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do against the big boys, James. I just think ultimately you've got to wait for those moments. You've got to wait for those times in the game where you can really hurt the opposition. I don't think it's acceptable. Our record against the top six this season, it's been woeful. Burnley's is better. Watford's is better. Everton's is better. And that's why you guys, there's people who seem to just, when I say Everton have still got a chance against Chelsea, I have, because Everton have recently beaten Arsenal at home. They've recently beaten Man United at home. They've got evidence of beating the top six at home. Leeds, the top six come to town and we just seem to get battered. I mean, the goals against the top six this year, I don't even want to total them up, but that isn't acceptable. And the gauge is all the teams in and around you. The teams in and around you don't lose as heavily to the top six as Leeds United do. But in terms of this performance, not looking to generalize it so much, the performance I thought was much better than what it was at City when we just went and had no idea and went man for man with the best team in the world. But it wasn't a 4-0 for me. It wasn't a 4-0. But the composure and the lack of quality in the final third. Like, I thought if you've got a Bamford there today, we could have caused them some serious problems. I genuinely believe that. A real presence up there and you're using the counter press. You're looking for Bamford. He's a focal point. Then you're playing off Bamford, trying to win the second balls. I thought there was a period where Leeds were winning a lot of the second balls. I thought Dallas was actually fantastic at doing that. He was completely rattling Grealish. And I thought, when Dallas went off, that almost quelled a little bit. And obviously City took control really from the 60th minute onwards, didn't they? But yeah, it was encouraging. It was encouraging, but it has to be more than that, James. We need to start picking up points, mate. And I read, and I'll call him out as well. Ethan, follow him on Twitter, and he posted something really, really, really sort of, I align with it. Really, I think the exact same thoughts. He said that I'm all right with the thing that I'm a little bit worried about with Leeds is accepting these defeats. Man City were going to get hammered. We all knew it, didn't we? Fair play if you're an optimist and you thought we were going to beat them 3-1. But I think the majority of people know that Man City is going to be a tough ask. Arsenal's always going to be a tough ask. Chelsea, a lot of people are looking and saying maybe, and I'd be aligned with that. But when Leeds have to be the protagonists, when Leeds have to go for it, when Leeds have to be the team on the front foot against Brighton, who've just won today away at Wolves 3-0. By the way, nobody's listening when I'm talking about Brighton, and Brentford, who are on a good vein of form. That's when it worries me a little bit, because our conviction in the final third just isn't there. And that's where you really need a Patrick Bamford. And maybe that's the positive. Bamford said that, there's a lot of chat from Jesse Marsh saying that he's going to be back for the Arsenal game. That is touch wood. We need him, because Stuart Dallas, when you're looking at leaders in the team, that looked like an ACL or an MCL, his knee jarred like that. I've done my MCL before. It's horrendous. Your leg jars, someone goes into the side of it, bang, you're out for 2 or 3 months. So if it is that's going to be Dallas gone. Obviously, Forshaw's going to be out for the season. Is that a reoccurring injury for Cooper as well? We just don't seem to be getting any look at the minute. But if you're just generally talking about performance, mate, I thought it wasn't a 4-0. But yeah, Carl says, I think the amount of goals we shipped in the last 8 games with Bielsa will ultimately relegate us. We will go down on goal difference. Yeah, I mean, that the 20 goals in a month, mate, is... that is you just can't do that in the Premier League. Eugene Farrell says Brighton at home. They've only lost 4 away, and our last game away to Brentford have not won there in over 50 years. 72 goals conceded. We'll need a miracle. It's going to be tough. I think it is going to be tough. I think people are now sort of coming to the realization that it is going to be a tough ask. I think you do look at the fixtures, and Everton have got Watford away, who we saw today. We just God. Did anybody watch Watford? Let me know in the comment section. But if you watch Watford, I try not to swear on this, but they are bad. So they're going to give Everton a huge chance. So Leeds have to win games, everybody. There's no chance we're staying up just getting a point. There has to be 4 points minimum for me in our last 4. I'm still hearing this garbage of, it's going to take 35, 36 points to stay up. What if this season is better than any other? What if this is an anomaly? It could be an above average season staying up points wise. That is a very feasible possibility. Yeah. Let's get into some of your comments, guys. The problem is that we have a large minority of morons that support our club. I think that's referring to the sticker stuff. There'll be more twists and turns. Yeah, 100%. I'd agree. Mark says we should be focused on the next game. Leeds really run their hearts out. We could not ask for more. Mark, I agree. It was. I was honestly, mate. I was happy with a lot of that performance. I'm just a little bit worried about the final third. He shouldn't be playing. He's got to start playing Joe Gelhardt up front. He has to start. He's got no other option. I don't know if Bamford's going to be back, but if Bamford isn't back, he has to bring Gelhardt on. Gelhardt, when he comes on, the ball sticks to him. He's a striker. He's very, very good, even when he's dropping deep, at picking up the ball and enabling the wingers to get into the game. He's a striker. You just can't. I get why he plays Dan James up top to run the defense down, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. 12 games, he hasn't scored a goal, I believe it is now. Rodrigo is not a striker. He's not a striker. We've just got to start Joe Gelhardt. Why not? What is the worst that's going to happen now? We've got to go for it. Leeds cannot. We're not in a position right now, everybody, where I know where we are. We're 17th. We're not in the relegation zone, but people are still saying the same thing when we're 15th, when we're 16th, when we're 17th. We can't keep with this notion that it's all right, it's fine, everything's okay. Leeds need points. We have to get points. Everton also have a game in hand on us. They also have a superior goal difference. That head has got to be above the sand at some point. Leeds are in trouble. We need to start winning football games. Not even just winning. I mean, it'd be great winning consecutive football games, but we have to start picking up more points. We really do. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. It is just how it is. The 3-0 and 1-0 defeats against Everton and Newcastle were bad. Yeah. I get that. Toothless up front, says Jono. Where are the goal going to come from if Everton gets something tomorrow? Leeds. Yeah, I mean, I've said that. We've been talking in our group chat, mate, and I think it's a similar thing with me, KG and Brownie. I think we've been speaking on the Everton game, and it's huge because if Everton get 3 points, Leeds need to get. It's still in our hands. It's still in. We still have the power right now, and that's the beauty of it. That is it, and Leeds have to get points. It's simple as that. It really is. Ian's in the building. I watched Watford v Burnley. Watford had a chance. They capitulated, played like individuals. I keep saying start Joffy. Yeah, and it's not. I'm not going on this. It's not like a. And you're the same, Ian, and a lot of Leeds fans are the same as well. It's not like a brain dead, this isn't working, start Joe Gelhardt. It's because Joe Gelhardt has a lot of attributes which I think will fit this system. He came on once again. He won a header against Ruben Diaz straight off the bat. He's in the thick of it, and he had a strike on goal, didn't he? In the moments where Rodrigo is on the pitch, as a striker, there's no real threat. There's no real threat from up front. And when we're playing this counter-pressing system, when we're looking to hit the front man and players are supposed to be linking in and around the striker, it doesn't work with Rodrigo. There's no synergy there. There's no cohesion. Joe Gelhardt comes on, there's always a spark. And if it's not working, if Joe Gelhardt starts and it's not working, we're not going to play a team as good as Manchester City for the rest of the season. So if Joe Gelhardt does start up front and it doesn't work, we can change it around, but at least start with him and see what it's like. At least start with him. We're always bringing him on when it's so difficult to turn it around, even in the games where we've profited from him being up front. Connor, what are your thoughts on God? Oh man. I thought Um, what do I say here? I, he's he's not my sort of player at all, which is ironic because I said at the start of the season this is why this will be the signing of the summer. But when he played for Betis, he was a completely different player to where he is at Leeds. I think those that year or two at Barca has absolutely killed him off as a player in terms of confidence and a player maybe in terms of ability. I don't really know how that works, but um, yeah, I'm just not a fan, mate. I'm not a fan. I said from day dot, I said from sort of the third, fourth game, I think we're in trouble with him. And I want another. I'm watching Charlie Taylor today, and once again, a lot of fans won't like this. I'm watching Cabasele, not Cabasele, it's Kamara, I think, for Watford, and they're just light years ahead of him. They're like, and the only reason I'm mentioning these players is because they're below. Well, obviously Burnley are above us now, but Watford are below us and in a lot of trouble. And Giannoulis at Norwich, a good player. Roma interested in him. He's a better player than Firpo. I just don't rate Firpo at all. We can have all the excuses for him, injured, whatever, this, that, and the other. I just don't rate him as a football player. I think going forward, when he's getting the ball over the halfway line, he's doing a few little jinks inside and outside, but then he'll just give the ball away inadvertently every single time. It'll be a bad cross, it'll be a bad pass into the middle, and the opposition team will pick it up. And then he's a yellow card. 10 yellow cards in 20 games. Staggering ill discipline. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he was all right today, but he couldn't be his fully fledged self because he was booked within 10 minutes, like he is every single game. And then teams invariably once again get a lot of joy on our right hand side because he's always booked. He's always on a yellow card. So Pep Guardiola and any other smart manager in the division will go down our left hand side, their right hand side. And it's a constant problem for him. He's always on the wrong side of the defender. He's always got his arms, or the striker, sorry, or the winger. He's always got his arms all over them as well. He's just a walking yellow card. So yeah, I don't know. Gelhart is not healthy. LJ, well, he shouldn't be coming on at all then, mate. He shouldn't be coming on at all if he's not healthy at all. City fan here. I hope Leeds stay up. A great traditional club with great fans. Good luck for the future. Yeah, thanks, mate. I thought the fans were magnificent today, singing as they always do, right to the end. And they are a credit. They really are a credit. There is some fantastic. You don't hear it at any other club. I'm sorry you don't. 4-0 down against Spurs, 4-2 down against our bitter rivals, Manchester United. You're 4-0 down today, and I'm reeling off these results, and I'm thinking the amount of goals we conceded. But the fans are just incredible, and they're a credit to the club, and it's why it hurts. And coming on and doing these, it does hurt because I'd have loved to have come out of today with a sneak, 1-1. And listen, I am encouraged. I really am encouraged. I need to see a little bit more going forward. And I'm praying just for Bamford return. I'm praying Stewart's all right. I really am, and I'm praying Liam's all right. So yeah. I think that sums it up, Gail. I think that sums it up. So down I knew we would get beat. It is because you're not a fan if you're not down. You're not a fan if you it's just a bit strange if you're coming out of that and just going, well, it's great. It's great. It doesn't matter. 4-0, but we played well. I know they're a world-class side. I know they're the best team in the world, but it hurts me when Leeds get smashed, and it is a smashing, isn't it? It's 4-0. It does hurt. It really hurts. And I think, you have got to take the positives out of it. I thought, Gelhardt was good when he came on. Rafinha, I thought, was really good in the game. I thought he was really unlucky. I'd have liked to have seen Cresswell at some point, to be quite honest with you. I thought Stroud did okay. I thought Koch did okay. It was nice to see those two at the back together. I thought Ayling was all right today. There was a lot of good performances. City are just that good. City are just that good that they're gonna exploit you, and they did. When we were, it's just such a shame that the goals were so sloppy. I think. Yeah, and yeah, Sam S has said Strauch and Koch didn't even look for Rodri for the first goal, not Premier. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to judge them, to be honest, Sam, on just one mistake, because then half our team wouldn't be a Premier League side, really, would they? Because they've all made mistakes this season, and I think that's why we are where we are. The league never lies, does it? We deserve to be where we are. We've just got to We've just got to fight now. We've got to fight and fight and fight and find that bit of quality. Um, and we've got to get wins. We've just got to pick up wins, and we've got to hope Everton don't pick up anything. We've got to hope Chelsea beat them tomorrow. We've got to hope Leicester beat them. I am looking at Everton. I am looking at Everton. So much more at the minute. So yeah. Gail says, yeah, again, conceded 4 goals, and I thought our defenders did okay. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm trying to say. I thought that the whole team was all right. I thought they were okay. I just, yeah, just going forward, just like headless chickens, and that does worry me. It really, really does worry me. Um, Championship level squad at best, passing, shooting, except Jov, and that is it. You know, they all do okay, but the quality is just not there, is it? And that's it. We need to, and you can tell. I think I'm learning more and more and more now. Well, I'm getting the vibe more and more and more that Jesse just must be so frustrated with just the lack of quality and the lack of depth. And maybe he didn't know what he was fully coming into until he's actually came in. You know, you forget his Salzburg side, you know, Haaland in there, Szoboszlai, you know. And then his Leipzig side, you know, and Cuckoo, it was on absolute fire. And they've just got top operators in their teams. And Leeds do, you know, got Rafinha, obviously we've got Calvin Phillips in there, but overall these are playing European football and they are better teams. Marsh has had much better teams than what he's come into now and much more depth, 100% in that Red Bull network setup. So that's where he'll be finding it very difficult. It's a new challenge for him. I do really like his passion on the sidelines. He set up for it today as well. I did quite like what he did. He just went more rigid, went narrow, and Gary Neville was giving us plaudits. It's no way a 4-0 game. No way a 4-0 game. But I think it's just a huge game tomorrow. It's almost like Leeds are playing again tomorrow. That's how I feel. You know, if Everton are to lose tomorrow, you look at the weekend and it's not a bad one. It's not a bad weekend if Everton lose tomorrow. Because it is between us and Everton now. It is. I think now you're looking at Burnley and they're out of it. They're completely out of it. And you guys might think I'm mad for saying that, but you just go and have a look at the fixtures. Go and have a look at their fixtures. And if that was Leeds, everybody would be saying we're out of it. So you got to get that neutral hat on a little bit more. Yeah, Phillips was strong. Yeah, Anthony said he thought he was quiet. I thought Phillips was good today. I thought he was good. Barely gave the ball away. Strong in the tackle. I thought Click was poor today, so that maybe a little bit difficult. I thought his passing sequences were good up until the third goal, but I just think sometimes in the tackle he's a little bit weak, and there's a lot of reliance on Calvin. Connor, do you still think that 5-point gap will be a lifeline? In my opinion, it will be. Everton have still got Chelsea, Arsenal, and Leicester away to play. Yeah, I mean, obviously they've got a game in hand, haven't they? Everton, they've got goal difference on us as well, which for me, goal difference is a point. It's an extra point. So that's why I'm sort of taking the Everton hat on to 4 points, not 5, if that makes sense. It's going to be a tough running. It's a tough running for them as well, of course it is. But ours is as tough. You know, you look at our last 4 games, I will never understand why people are writing Brighton and Brentford off. We'll win that one. It's an easy one. That it's just they're just not. They're just not. We've not beaten Brighton in the Premier League so far. Played them 3 times. You know, we haven't beaten them yet. You know, Brentford have won 5 out of the last 7 games. So let's be honest, they're all tough games. They are. So that's why we need elevated performances from Leeds. It's up to us. You know, I'm not saying that we're going to lose every game. I'm not saying that we're not going to pick up 2 wins. I'm not saying that we're not going to pick up a win and a draw. But we need, you know, the players need to stick their head above, as I keep saying, the parapet, the sand, and do it. You know, and do it. And it might just be a goal in off the arse or in off the kneecap or something like that. But I'm just hoping we've got that quality. And I think Bamford would be a huge lift. I'm just hoping he's going to be back. Yeah, Gilbert's right. We've still got Chelsea and Arsenal to play. Uh, Burnley are level with us on points. They have Spurs, Villa twice, and an informed Newcastle. Burnley's still in it. I disagree, mate. I really disagree with that. Villa have been absolutely abysmal, in my opinion. I mean, you look at the points total and you think, yeah, obviously Burnley are in it. I mean, and when you do look at that, they are still in it. But I mean, they've already beaten Spurs. I'm not saying they're going to beat them again, but they've already beaten Spurs. Villa are just abysmal at the minute. Will Newcastle be on the beach? It's just interesting, isn't it, Sam, the psychology? If that's Leeds and we're looking at that running, we're probably saying we're out of it, aren't we? Realistically, I think as fan base, we are. We have to admit we'd be saying, yeah, we're out of it. We're decent, and with the run of form that we're on at the minute, you know, winning 3 of our last 4 with those our last fixtures, we'd all be turning around saying, yeah, we're out of it. For me, if you got that realistic hat on, it's us. It's us and Everton. Um, Gutted for Stu, says Jake. Won't be the same player now with his age. He'll undoubtedly lose a couple of yards of pace. Hopefully not, mate. Hopefully not. We can only hope for a draw and a must. Johnny be good. Everton have Leicester, Chelsea, Leicester. Blah, blah. Yeah, all the fixtures there. Yeah, 100%. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. There is 500 of you in the building. If you've not watched the full thing, make sure you go back and watch it on the replay. Thank you so much. If you want some additional content, the Patreon link is in the description below. I'm going to be uploading. Shout out to Carl, a new Patreon member today as well. New Patreon member as well, Chris, to the building. Appreciate all of my, I think it's 10 of you who've subscribed. I hope you've enjoyed the content this week. There'll be more content coming on the Patreon this week, so make sure you sign up. Links in the description below. Really helps out the channel with the running costs and all this sort of stuff. If you want to get involved in some BetMate fantasy football as well, guys, that is in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the final word, where we go through absolutely everything. We go through phases of play. We go through your guys' comments. We go through individual bits that we found out overnight. We just sort of, we get up the next day and we maybe have a refresh think. We have a refresh talk on everything. So join me then, and I'll see you in a bit, guys. Cheers.